Hey, movie fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Uncharted Media Podcast. This is episode 159. So last week we had our big predictions of 2022. We're going to keep on the 2022 movie train and give our top 10 most anticipated movies of this year, which I'm not going to lie, Josh, was a lot harder than I thought because I forgot how absolutely loaded this year is. So I had to really shrink down my list. So yeah, we're going to be counting down our top 10 most anticipated movies of the year. This could either be theatrical or streaming. I have at least one movie that I know is going to streaming, even if I don't want it to. But Josh, how you doing tonight?
I'm chilling, my dude. It's been a chill week. We got 2 snowstorms last week. So
what's snow?
I know, right? Like, legit, like, I had to drive home from work during the first one, and for a good bit there, I couldn't see, like, 15 feet in front of the car, so that was only a little terrifying. But yeah, no, it's been a chill week. Pretty busy work-wise. Yeah.
You watching anything good?
Yes! So, well, not really, not a whole lot. This is anime stuff. New episode 6 of Demon Slayer is, so good. Super good. And then, I don't know if I mentioned this to you necessarily, but we convinced my mom to finally start watching the Harry Potter movies.
Had she not before?
No, she's the only one in the family that's not seen them.
Wow.
So, we just finished Prisoner of Azkaban. So, she doesn't watch like really intense movies a lot because like her anxiety legit, like she has to, like, it gets her so wound up, and like I understand that, like that's like there was physical like tension I could see on her
in the third one. She does know that that's the last one and it's safe, right?
No, I told her that and I was like, I'm sorry,
it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, it's gonna get a lot worse, but
it's gonna get seriously really worse.
So I think one of the fun parts was about halfway through Prisoner of Azkaban. She's like, okay, Josh, I need to know if Lupin is good or not. I understand, like, from an anxiety, like, level, like, standpoint, like, if you physically can't handle that, that's all. I was like, yeah, he's a good guy. And then the screeching shack scene happens, and he, quote unquote, betrays Harry. Whatever, and my mom's like, I thought you said he was good. I was like, give it like 2 minutes.
Would you just wait a second?
It's great.
Hold on, laddie.
Oh, dude, and like the joy in her face when she figured it out before it happened, that it was not Harry. It was not Harry's dad. It wasn't James that was casting the Patronus. It was Harry. She was like, oh, that's so great. I was like, yeah, it was.
Hopefully your mom doesn't overthink the fact that Ron had a grown man on his lap for close to a decade.
I mean, yeah. No.
That's one of those things of like J.K. Rowling like had this great plot twist of Scabbers is actually a human, but it's actually really disturbing the more you think about it. The
way I approached it, I was like, so when Ron in the first one, when he goes to use that spell on Scabbers to turn him yellow,
it could have actually been a real spell.
Yeah, it could actually be a real spell, but it doesn't work because Scabbers isn't
Animagus.
A rat. He's a person. Yeah. It was just like, same thing with the cup. And Mom was like, I could just see like the gears working in my mom's head, and she was like, oh wow, this is so cool. I was like, yeah, I know. And also, like, upon rewatch and having to explain that to somebody, Ron's not as bad of a wizard as like he kind of comes off to, I think, upon your first viewing. I think most of the times when his spells don't work, it's something that has nothing to do with him.
He did have a busted wand for a whole year.
Yeah, like, poor guy. Oh, man. But yeah, he's a great wizard.
Now that I think about it, that more has something to say about how bad of a friend Harry is. Harry's basically loaded, and you know your friend needs a wand for school. Like, needs it more than a college kid needs a computer. and you don't offer to just get him a new wand, you loaded dick. Like, you have all this money. You bought him a cart full of candy once. You can't buy him a wand when he needs it, when technically you're the reason his wand broke. Like,
well, yeah. Well, I haven't read the books, but like I would assume that it's because they're at school and they're not allowed to leave school.
they go home on
But, like,
Christmas
that's all I
break.
can think of. But also, like, how do none of the professors be like, "Hey, do you need to leave to go, like, take a vacation or something real quick to go get a wand?"
Yeah.
Like not like I think it reflects more against Hogwarts than it does Harry. Like, nah, we're just gonna let this kid use a broken wand.
Only
for
the
a whole
strongest will
year.
survive at Hogwarts.
And he does survive, man. I mean, if the strongest
One
will
we could
survive,
say for
that
some
is
other
Neville,
people.
my man.
One we could say for some other Hogwarts
Neville's
students.
strongest. Oh, jeez.
Um,
My ball.
so
Oh,
I watched
I'm not ready for
3 separate movies that are all wildly different. I watched Amazon's Being the Ricardos by Aaron Sorkin. Basically, it follows Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz during 1 week of filming on I Love Lucy, but it's like the worst week of their lives of like
what?
allegations of Desi being unfaithful, Lucille Ball being accused of being a communist. It all comes to head in 1 week.
Oh.
And it's because it's Aaron Sorkin, I'm immediately interested. I loved his work on Moneyball. I still think, what was it? Trial of the Chicago 7 is one of the most underrated movies of 2020. Was it 2020 or 2021? That movie was outstanding. I just love Aaron Sorkin, so it was good. I don't know if it's his best, but he can write his way out of anything. It's incredibly well written. I think Nicole Kidman's probably a shoo-in to at least get a nomination for Best Actress. She's so good in it. J.K. Simmons could just do any role in his sleep. He's so good in it.
He's fantastic.
On the flip side, for a completely different Amazon movie, I watched Chris Pratt's The Tomorrow War, which feels...
Yeah, how was that?
It feels like it came out 25 years too late. Like, it feels like it would fit right at home with that Armageddon, Independence Day type era. It's not bad, but that specific type of action movie is what I kind of equated it more to. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Once again, J.K. Simmons is the best thing about it. Like, he and Chris Pratt are fighting an alien, and Chris Pratt just goes, "Die!" They've killed the alien, they're just laying in the snow. Did you just tell it to die? Yeah. Probably should have opened with that next time. Like, J.K. Simmons just completely straight-faced. All right, you're great. And he is, like, you thought he was swole as Commissioner Gordon in those gym pictures? He's even more jacked in Tomorrow War, which is ungodly terrifying. It's fine. Albeit some of the time travel logic both does and does not make sense. So they're basically like, we can only transport you exactly 30 years in the future. We can't mess with time anymore. That's the way we've structured this. I'm going, cool. Then some character dies in the future and they try and make it really, really sad. And they're just like, oh no, this character died. And I'm going, well, if you just go back now, you've got the answer to how do you win. So this character won't die. So stop trying to milk this emotion, because we just know if you go back, you've already fixed everything now. Like, and they're just like, well, but we have this solution. I'm going, then do something about it. You've got literally years before these things come, so you know that. Like, there's no actual rush to get anything done. Also, of the 3 movies that I watched this week, I hate to say it, but this is my least favorite one, and I did not particularly enjoy it. In the Heights. Wow, I was expecting a lot more from this. First of all, I gotta get off my chest. I'm not the biggest Lin-Manuel Miranda fan. I don't really get the appeal of Hamilton. I think he's very much this is my thing of like hip-hop musicals. Yeah. That's my wheelhouse, and I'm sticking to it. In the Heights is very similar to that. He didn't direct it, but you could definitely tell his flavor of music. The issue I have with it, there's no actual plot for In the Heights. It's basically like jumping from song to song in this little neighborhood block, which is fine if there was some form of a story tying it together, but there really isn't a narrative. It's more or less a glorified sing-along. And
wait, I thought it was like about like how their block was gonna get like destroyed or something like that.
Nope.
What?
That's not in it at all.
Oh,
There's no element
right
to
then.
the neighborhoods going away. There's certain parts of it of certain people are moving away from the block, but it's not like everyone is. There's like one group of people that's moving away and another character that's considering moving away. But no, the block doesn't go anywhere. It's never threatened to be destroyed. There's some like political commentary, but the movie can't decide if it really wants to fully go down that route or not. And for clarification, I watched In the Heights for two reasons. One, it came highly recommended. People were talking really good things about it. And two, one of the main actresses in it is Leslie Grace, this star of the upcoming Batgirl movie, who I had never seen her in anything. So I'm going, okay, what do you bring to the table? I'm happy to say, while I didn't love In the Heights, Leslie Grace is like the best thing about it. And you could tell her, and there's another character, I believe his name is Benny. When the two of them are on screen, you're going, oh, so you guys are the actual singers here. I can kind of compare it to Mina Massoud in Aladdin. He was fine as Aladdin in the new live action one. But when Naomi Scott starts singing in A Whole New World compared to him, you're going, oh, you're the classically trained singer here. Like, it kind of just makes everyone else stand out that much more. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed with In the Heights. There's some cool visual stuff that they try and do, but overall, not overly impressed with it. I will hopefully see Tick, Tick, Boom by next week.
Oof.
That's the one I'm actually more excited for, which is ironic because that is directed by Lin-Manuel, but I think I'll enjoy that one more because he's not creating his own music for this. He kind of is, you gotta stick with the Rent music. Plus, Andrew Garfield, man, just Andrew Garfield. Also, by the time we get back next week, we will be able to talk about the Peacemaker series, which will have dropped 3 episodes by now.
Oh, true.
Peacemakers this week. I'm super excited. So, yeah. Some good, some bad this week. I've been calling it all over the place.
Yeah. I for whatever reason, I was like, I'm missing some Spider-Man in my life. Just the hype from No Way Home. It just hasn't died yet, so I was like, you know what? I'll go back and play the game. And I was like, I'll just pop in and swing around, kill some bad guys, and I'll be done. Well, I guess for some reason my save file disappeared. So, and I'm choosing to see this as a positive. I am getting to play the whole game over again and experience it all over again.
With the Andrew Garfield skin?
You best believe that before I got the skin, I actually wanted that was the skin that I used.
Which is weird because, like, don't get me wrong, I like Amazing Spider-Man, but I will still, to the day I die, say that the Amazing Spider-Man suit's one of the worst they've ever had. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is almost perfect, and I'm glad that's the one that they did for No Way Home. But Amazing Spider-Man, it looks like a bad basketball. Like, it looks weird.
It does. It does, and that is why I went with the Scarlet Spider suit that you get at the beginning of the game, because it's so dang cool.
That is a nice suit.
Yeah. And it's really weird knowing how the game ends and playing through it. Oh, no.
And, how they actually should have killed off a certain character.
Ugh. Although, no, I don't hate how they did it in No Way Home.
No, me neither. But I think the game did it better.
Harder. Yeah.
The game just hits so hard of, let me see the face of my nephew. You're just going, oh. Like, that's, to me, the ending of Spider-Man is like the definitive Spock of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. You're just going, that's a prime example of it, of, tough choices, man. But let's get into some news, because I've been waiting a few days to talk about some news, and I don't know why. There's a specific news topic that kind of gained traction a few days ago. Like, the sparks kind of started to kick up a little bit on this flame, and then like a day or two ago, holy crap, it turned into a full-on brush fire with this story. So, the Batgirl, starring Leslie Grace, is filming right now in Glasgow, Scotland. So, we're getting some leaked set pictures, which we don't normally talk about leaked set photos and stuff here because it's not officially released stuff from studios. But when we're talking about one specific character, we will talk about any leaks or rumors that we want, because I am not a patient man. So, what I'm getting at is, supposedly, there will be some presence of a Robin in the upcoming Batgirl movie, to which I feel like just last week, someone predicted that we would get a Robin presence at some point in 2022. I feel vindicated already. So, I said it kicked off a few days ago, and it kind of turned some people's heads because normally we don't talk about Reddit rumors because there's not much to it. But with some new information that's come out, people kind of backtracked and found this one specific post of someone talking about Batgirl that lined up with some other stuff that we now know is confirmed. Like, this original post was from months and months ago saying J.K. Simmons would be back as Gordon, Michael Keaton would be the Batman, all this stuff that now we know is absolutely true. So it kind of got people digging more into that original post going, well, what else were they saying? They said that there were a couple names being considered for Robin with the potential to be spun off into a Nightwing movie down the road. And some of the names, I was just patting myself on the back going, holy crap, we were this close. One of the names being considered right now is Power Ranger 2017's Ludi Lin, to which we're just going, holy crap, because Josh and I have been championing Ludi Lin's casting as Nightwing for what feels like years. We've been saying that one for a very long time.
I mean, at the very least, since Power Rangers was a thing.
Yeah. You know, this year will be 5 years for Power Rangers. That came out in 2017. But
that makes me really sad.
Dylan O'Brien is another name being considered. I think Joshua Bassett. So that could be interesting hearsay. That could just be a rumor because Reddit is a place to post wild speculation. But where this thing gets really interesting is about 2 days ago, they're setting up outdoor stuff for the Batgirl, and there's a mural of the Batman. But at the time when the original picture was posted, it was just a picture of the Batman, who, we'll talk about it. We won't show the picture here. But that Batman looks like he's wearing a completely new suit. There's no doubt about it. It's the Michael Keaton Batman. But that suit looks new. With white eyes, too. White eyes, my man. White eyes. But that initial picture of the mural was only showing half of it. So when we get the full picture, Robin is standing next to Batman in this rundown mural, to which everyone, myself included, just goes, red alert, we're serious, it's the Robin alert, let's go. I did find it interesting, however, though, that Robin in this mural, unlike Batman, has the lower half of his face completely covered, mixed with his mask on the front. This is obscuring his face completely, is making me go, okay, so this is kind of your out for we haven't fully casted this individual yet. But to me, this is the strongest indication yet that we are getting Robin either in Batgirl, reference to him in Batgirl, or he will be making his debut very, very soon. I'll get into my Robin fanboyism very, very soon, but I think there's some other fish to fry with this.
Yeah.
Besides Robin, the greatest comic book character of all time, coming into Batgirl, this has huge ramifications. One, we know Michael Keaton's Batman in the Batgirl movie. Michael Keaton never had a Robin. Robin showed up in the Joel Schumacher ones, which, does this imply that Joel Schumacher's movies are no longer canon? Because whether people like those movies or not, those were canon to the Michael Keaton movies. They are all still in the same universe. Does this kind of Halloween 2018 Joel Schumacher's movies and wipe Batman Forever and Batman and Robin out of existence? Because I don't think this is going to be Chris O'Donnell. It doesn't look like Chris O'Donnell in that picture. It raises a lot of interesting questions because, as I've also brought up a lot of times, and I think it's one of the single stupidest decisions Zack Snyder ever did, and that's saying something, was when Zack Snyder decided to kill off Dick Grayson as the dead Robin in Batman vs. Superman. I think that stymies a lot of your creative storytelling with the Bat family. Not that Snyder had any care about sidekicks whatsoever as he shot Jimmy Olsen in the face. This is not just me as a Robin and a Nightwing fan going, this is awesome. This is also me as a DC Comics fan going, this forever changes up the landscape. This is a huge change. But Josh, you saw the picture. I sent it to you in girlish squeals of delight. What did you make of this picture? What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that the bottom of Robin's face is it like, because so I went back and looked at my phone so that to kind of get it. fresh in my mind. It's like scratched out, but like not like someone came up and was like, but like just like a wear and tear, like the paint peeled off.
So that implies that it's been there for a while.
Correct. And I have always, like, I guess it never hit me until now. Robin has to exist before Batgirl. I hadn't considered that for some reason. And now I was like, well, it only makes sense for there to be a Robin because are we going to imply Batgirl as Batman's first sidekick? I don't think so. Well, you could. I guess I don't have too much of a problem with that. But yeah, no, like, I see no issue with being like, yeah, so Dick Grayson's in this movie. Because, like,
so
you got to try to put Tim first? Nah. There'll be a riot.
No, that suit looks very, very much the Dick Grayson specific suit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where I can be a Dick Grayson fanboy here, as obviously everyone at home knows I've been waiting not so patiently for some form of Dick Grayson development. I would not be surprised if he's been Robin for a while, because this mural that we see in the picture has been weathered, implying that Batman and Robin have been a thing for a really long time, and also Michael Keaton is not young. So,
yeah,
maybe the direction they're going is he starts off as Robin in this movie to kind of set him up, and then can easily be spun into a Nightwing movie, which Chris McKay has still not given up on, hopefully someday making it. I wouldn't be surprised if they come back around and go, okay, this Batgirl movie is how we can introduce an eventual Nightwing down the road. Almost like certain somebody called it not too long ago and has been saying so for a very long time. Also, for anybody that's, interested in what story direction they could potentially take a Nightwing movie in. I know a guy. It's his best video and his best work he's ever done. I don't know what that says about his type of content, though. I would not be surprised, though. And here's an interesting thought I haven't even pitched to you yet, Josh.
Okay.
But we know from pictures, but also from story beats, that Barbara Gordon will work for the GCPD here in this version under her dad. Mm-hmm. What if Dick Grayson also is a cop, and that's where she meets him for the first time? It wouldn't be unheard of, because in the comics, Dick worked as a police officer in the Bloodhaven Police Department, which is the next city over from Gotham, for quite a while during the original Chuck Dixon run. Maybe for simplicity's sake, they streamline that, and before they ever meet each other under the cape and cowl, they're co-workers, completely oblivious to what the other does at night type of situation. I think that could be really interesting, and that might be the direction that they take. This also means to me, if we're getting outside shooting soon, and they're getting stuff to film stuff in front of everyone, if Robin really is in this movie, we're getting official casting sooner rather than later. I would not be surprised if in the next week or two, at the latest, we get some more official casting confirmation. Because casting-wise, it's been kind of quiet on the Batgirl front. We know J.K. Simmons, Michael Keaton are in it. Brendan Fraser is the bad guy. There's been rumors of Killer Moth being in the movie as well. But you got to flesh out the rest of the cast. And we don't know a ton, so I would not be surprised if they are going to announce that very, very soon. We heard some names that they're narrowing down. I'm not a tinfoil hat person normally, but I do.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Yeah, okay.
This is the very tinfoil hat theory. That's why I say I don't normally reach this much, but I do find the timing to be interesting as soon as a whole bunch of people talking about, ew, there's all these bad directions that they might be going for Batgirl based off some very obscure Reddit rumors that maybe some people are suggesting DC did this as damage control because they're just going, people love Nightwing. Just put Nightwing rumors out there to kind of negate the negative news, but I'm going, no, this has been on the filming schedule for a little bit. I just think it's about time that they finally have figured out, okay, this could be our entryway for Nightwing, because I think Warner Brothers and especially Zack Snyder have underestimated the fan base, not just myself, but Dick Grayson / Nightwing is a immensely popular character with a lot of storytelling possibilities. And I think the Bat family especially has been misutilized in movies. like in favor of Batman is a cool solo character. I'm going, his best stories involve others helping him, and I would like to see the Bat family be introduced. My only thing is, do we know if this movie's coming out this year or not? It looks like they've got some Christmas themed stuff to it, so it could be a Christmas theme movie. I don't know if we have a set release date for this or not, but I think it's supposed to be this year, but I don't know.
I thought it was next year at the earliest. If they're filming now, I would assume that it would be next year.
Not necessarily. But Halloween Ends hasn't started filming yet. Halloween Ends films in February, and that's still coming out this year.
Interesting.
But then again, Halloween, could be filmed in 3 weeks and be completely done and in the can.
Yeah. I think what would be interesting, and just thinking about how they could pull this off. I almost want them. I kind of could feel them being friends or coworkers or whatever before. What would be
they're special buddies.
What would be interesting, I think, is this is like Barbara comes in and meets Bruce at the time when Dick actually leaves to go to Bloodhaven, to go on his own, just because of age and timing wise. And then Batgirl is the one that steps in to fill that void, which could be interesting. I don't know. I kind of feels weird, puts Dick's character in a weird place, especially if this is quote unquote the first time we're meeting him. I don't know.
Well, somebody has covered that before. Yeah,
there's a video on the Uncharted Media channel. I don't know. Maybe go check
it's
it
almost
out.
like I treated it. Like we're only just meeting him when he's leaving for Bloodhaven for the first time. So if you're looking for a launching point, we got a certain Nightwing video that just passed 10,000 views. So thanks for that, guys. Let's talk about some more interesting news. That being the CW apparently is up for sale. Also, before doing research for this news topic, I had not realized the CW has never been profitable. Ever.
Wow.
It has been in
Really
existence.
surprising.
It has been in existence since 2006 and has never once turned a profit. So Warner Media and Viacom, who share ownership of the CW, is looking to sell it off, which I'm going, yeah, you probably should have done this a long time ago. I'm imagining the number one factor in this decision has to be the Warner Discovery merger. I wouldn't be surprised if Discovery's looking at the books going, what the heck are you doing with the CW thing? You're bleeding money into it. But also, now I kind of feel bad for all the times I made fun of the CW going, wow, your effects look bad, your costumes look bad. It's probably because they had like a $5 budget and they're just trying their absolute best. Like, how can you not be profitable for 15 years, though? Like, before that, it was like, what, the WB or something like that, back with the frog?
Yeah. WB Kids.
Yeah, with Jackie Chan Adventures?
Morning.
With Jackie Chan Adventures? Dude,
I just
underrated.
went down this whole rabbit hole recently of, like, Jackie Chan Adventures, Shaolin Showdown, like, all those OG
Mucha Lucha.
WB Kids shows. Mucha Lucha. Oh, man. Such good stuff.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Was my stuff. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Jackie Chan Adventures.
It's so funny. I think I sent you the post before, but there's that picture of a collection of all the talismans, and it's like the problem with being an adult is I have adult money that can buy stuff, and this is one of those things I'm going to buy with my adult money is a collection of the talismans, which I actually saw someone make them out of like crystal resin, and I was like, ooh, that's so pretty.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I was looking online and I saw somebody was selling actual like Robin/Nightwing wingdings, like really nice ones. I'm going, I don't need it. I don't need it.
I don't need it, but I need it.
But so the CW is looking to be sold. However, any current CW programming, I would imagine it will not affect it in the short term, because shows will typically be like, okay, you've been renewed for seasons 2 and 3. After that, season 2 and 3, then you can kind of reevaluate, like, The Flash, I think, is like in season 8 or 9. I don't know if it's been picked up for multiple seasons, but say someone bought CW right now, they couldn't really do anything with the current programming until all those individual shows contracts have run up. So like Superman and Lois debuts, we're recording on Tuesday night, it debuts back tonight. It's getting all of season 2. Nobody would be able to touch that. It does present a very interesting future for that channel. Like, I don't really know, but would the CW just be an IP in terms of like a avenue to distribute content? Would the current CW stuff just move to HBO Max when the contracts are done? It either HBO Max, or I know Netflix has the rights to a lot of stuff. Like Netflix has the rights to past seasons of Arrow or The Flash, Black Lightning. Would those shows go to HBO Max? Would new contracts be reevaluated? I just thought this is really bizarre. But also, it just makes a lot of sense with this giant merger happening of trying to off-put all your non-valuable assets, basically like making the books look as good as humanly possible before a big acquisition. Kind of like WWE getting rid of all their massive talent. No, we're not selling the company at all.
Geez.
We're not selling the company at all. Let's get rid of 100 people.
Like legit, and like people that have carried the company for the past
William Regal.
Like, whatever. Okay, whatever. Dude, I'm waiting for the day they say that they let go Triple H. Like that'll be the day. That'll be how you know. And honestly, I don't think it's that far off. What's interesting to me is as far as the CW's sale, I do get kind of like a Disney XD kind of feel of like you said, like it's more of an IP that has a collection of shows, which would make sense for it to go to Netflix or HBO Max because of all the DC shows. Wouldn't be surprised if it ends up on HBO Max
Eventually, once the Netflix stuff.
Eventually,
Yeah.
eventually. Which means to me that it wouldn't necessarily be done because HBO Max, I think, would be more willing to dump actual amounts of money into the show.
I was thinking the exact same thing. The reason why Superman and Lois has better visual effects is because it's co-financed by HBO Max as well as CW. Like that's why Superman and Lois has so much, frankly, I'll say it, a better visual presentation is because they have a bigger budget to work with because HBO Max has helped it, so to speak, and which is why that's the only one I know of CW-wise. It's on HBO Max. But yeah, I could see shows like a Naomi or a Black Lightning getting moved to HBO Max and then getting a better budget. Flash, I think whenever it's done with CW, it's just done. We just need to put Flash out to pasture. Like,
yeah, it's been around for too long.
Yeah, this does just scream of merger and probably a Discovery decision of, hey, we don't really want this asset. You guys should sell it. You guys can split the revenue. You guys can have that. Because Discovery's not idiots. Discovery knows what is working financially and what is not. So I'm really looking forward to Discovery Warner Media mergers just because I trust the people in charge of Discovery. I've heard nothing but good things about, I think his name is David Zasloff, something along those lines. Like he's very much creator forward, but clearly looking at this, he's got a smart mind of, okay, just trim this hedge here. Like we don't need this. It's still just kind of bizarre to think that CW very soon probably will not exist. I wish I could say that I'll miss it, but
yeah.
With CW, the CW's slogan should be great for 2 seasons, then unwatchable.
Well, and like that's the thing, it's because it's been around for so long, like it definitely will feel like losing a piece of history almost. Because like I just remember growing up and just seeing, just so and so on the CW, so and so on the CW.
Supernatural.
Like, it was just like, yeah, it was that's why I think it's so hard for me to believe that it never turned an actual profit, because it was always putting out, I mean, like decent television. It wasn't like perfect, but it got the job done. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just sad to see it go. But, hopefully this opens up for more more opportunity for them to get those shows to get bigger budgets and maybe even make space for some better programming on whatever channel the CW is on.
So now the main question of the day that we have to ask ourselves: who the heck at Pixar pissed off Bob Chapek so bad that he's just insisting on screwing over all future Pixar endeavors? He's going to future endeavor Pixar soon. So what we mean by that is Pixar's newest film, Turning Red, is now going straight to Disney Plus for free. No premiere access, no having to pay $30, no theatrical option at all. It's just going straight to streaming, no theatrical option whatsoever. Now, I've seen some people go, well, with the Omicron variant out there, people are still concerned, especially with older people and young children being the target audience for Pixar movies and their health not always being known. I'm going, I don't know. This movie was coming out the end of March. We still have a long way to go in terms of how it could progress. From everything we're hearing, Omicron is strong, but it goes away very, very quickly. And other March releases, or heck, even February releases, have not moved. Uncharted has not moved yet. The Batman has not moved yet. This does scream Disney does not like Pixar as much as they used to. Now, before you start calling me a conspiracy theorist, this is the third Pixar movie in a row that Disney has tampered with its release. Either dumping it completely free on Disney Plus with Soul and then Luca, or, they don't even put Premiere Access, because I feel like the Disney movies that aren't Pixar, where they're just straight up Disney animation, either go theatrical or are Premiere Access. Like Raya and the Last Dragon, you had to pay the $30 for it. Encanto got a theatrical release, but both of those were Disney Animation, which is a completely different studio than Disney Pixar. I don't know who pissed off Pixar, but if I work at Pixar right now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking for jobs elsewhere, because clearly my employer doesn't care about my work. If this has happened 3 times in a row in less than a year, and I know we're in, I hate the word, but unprecedented times. The first time, I can understand. The second time, still don't like it, but okay. The third time, when we can actually see a light, theoretically, at the end of the tunnel, with no option for theatrical release, this just screams not right. That being said, I wasn't particularly interested in this movie. I actually really hated the trailer. The first trailer, I thought the main characters looked incredibly obnoxious, but then again, I don't think it's targeted for me, and that is totally okay. Not all movies have to be targeted to a specific demographic. That's completely fine. Just saying, for me, I wasn't interested. Right now, I'm much more interested in whatever the heck is going on behind the scenes that has pissed off Disney CEOs enough that they're going, Pixar, bye.
See, but I don't think they pissed anybody off. I think, and I don't think I'm far off from saying this, Bob Chapek is not creator-oriented. And Pixar's movies are all very, very creator-oriented.
Which
half the visuals that we got in Luca and in Soul, I don't think we would get if it wasn't for Pixar and letting their artists do their thing and create something unique. But Disney hates that. So it's like
Chapek hates that.
Bob Chapek hates that.
Which, speaking of Chapek, we're not going to turn it into a full-on discussion topic here. But Josh, did you see reports that came out about Chapek and his new 3 pillars? And also he said he's going to have creative meetings every month with the creative departments. I'm going, oh God, that sounds like micromanaging to the worst extent here.
Yeah.
Every month?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
What was the what's the 3 pillars?
Something about storytelling, which I'm going, that's always been Disney's thing, way to just ride Iger's coattails. I forget what the second one was. And then the third one was listening to our core audience, to which everyone just burst out laughing and goes, oh, we've told you we hated Genie Plus, which is a paid FastPass subscription service at the parks. And they're going, Sorry, what? What? We didn't hear you over all the sound of this money that we're making that you keep giving us. Like, really? You're gonna say you're listening to your fans when you continually spit in their face with stuff? But
Yeah, that's just
monthly
Apex
monthly
thing.
creative meetings. I'm going just. I don't like.
Yeah,
I compared Disney and Universal a lot in the past few years because I'm in Orlando. I know the two companies. And recently, the Universal CEO, Universal Orlando head of parks guy, retired. You know how I know he was good at his job? I never heard his name. Ever. I heard it when new rides were announced. He was there opening day. He was there eating his churros when Velocicoaster opened. It's a running joke, but I never heard his name. That's how you know he's doing your job right, when you're not in the news for headlines. This is, again, another huge misstep from Chapek. And yes, we do enjoy bagging on Mr. Clean on this podcast because he's just such an idiot. I love his idiocracy, but at the same time, it makes me so sad.
Yeah, So the three pillars, I've Googled the article real quick, are Chapek identifies the three areas as storytelling, innovation, and relentless focus on our audience.
If I remember correctly, he said something about we're going to look strongly into the metaverse.
I hate the metaverse. I think it's stupid. It's not going to work. It's not a thing. There's just so much about like the way that Disney treats Pixar stories that's just like what do you want to happen here, man? Are you like, because here's the thing. Everyone seems to really, really like Encanto, and for the most part, on the surface level, I really, really like it as well. But the more I think about it, the more I don't like it, and it's story-wise, and it's just knowing that the same company that puts that out and is like, yeah, storytelling, but then looks at like stories like Soul as like not as good because they're not from Disney. It's like, come on, man, you're stupid. Like,
doesn't acknowledge their own
Mr.
history.
Clean.
They don't acknowledge their own history. Like, don't respect their own history.
It's just, I'm done. But sounds like good things are to come.
Yeah. So chalk this last news topic up today as a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. So we've known for a little bit that we're getting a Quiet Place Part 3. However, John Krasinski will not be back to direct it. He directed the first two, but he said he'd be stepping away for a third one. But he'd still be involved in the creative process. I believe he would probably be writing the third one.
Yeah.
Then John Krasinski himself appointed, I believe the guy's name was Jeff Nichols, to direct A Quiet Place Part 3. I'm going, oh, okay. I don't think I'd ever really heard of him before. And so I was just going, I don't know. Without John Krasinski, I don't know if I'm in. Well, Jeff Nichols is out. I don't know if it's creative differences or scheduling conflicts. And his replacement, oh my God. I could have had 100 years to think of a replacement, and I couldn't have thought of a better one. They have gotten, let me see if I can pronounce the name right, Michael Sarnowski, who just did Nicolas Cage, who directed Nicolas Cage in Pig, which, y'all, I know a lot of people slept on Pig or went into Pig with the wrong assumptions thinking it was Nicolas Cage as John Wick, and it really is not at all. But to me, Pig was one of the best movies of last year, and artistically, it does feel like it could exist in the same world as A Quiet Place. Because
imagine, no, I'm just like imagining Nicolas Cage showing up in Quiet Place now, and I
need it. I need it so bad. Because honestly, guys, seriously, watch Pig, because it's probably one of Nicolas Cage's best performances in years. And if that Nicolas Cage shows up for A Quiet Place Part 3, he can give John Krasinski and Emily Blunt a run for their money. But stylistically, a lot of Pig, I feel like, would fit so perfectly with A Quiet Place, because both A Quiet Place and Pig are very much somber, reflective, dramatic pieces of, you expect big action, and at times there can be big action in Quiet Place, but at least with the first one, not so much with the second one. I think that's part of the reason why I didn't like the second one as much. The first one is very much about working through grief and family. And Pig is essentially just all about grief. A man losing the one thing in the world that he loves more than anything else. So if John Krasinski made this pick, I can absolutely see why, because thematically there's so much that connects with Pig and A Quiet Place, which is the weirdest sentence that I'm going to say this entire episode. But I don't
know.
I'll be honest. I wasn't overly excited for A Quiet Place Part 3 just because I didn't know what Jeff Nichols would bring to the table. I was really disappointed we weren't going to get John Krasinski back directing. Plus, the second one I thought was just okay. It was definitely a step down from the first one, though. But you bring in a talent of the guy that did Pig with A Quiet Place, I really think that's a match made in heaven. I'm knocked that one out of the park. That's a really good call.
Why not? I still need to watch Pig, which actually, you know what? I have enough time tonight. I'll probably do this after we're done recording.
Hulu. Pig or Willy's Wonderland?
It is, and I actually have it saved to my stuff, and I just keep forgetting to go in there and watch it. But gosh, dude, just the idea of Nicolas Cage showing up in A Quiet Place movie is honestly the only thing I now want to happen this year, and I have no issue with that at all.
Also, when you see Pig, I think you'll go, oh yeah, I can definitely see that or hear that of Pig. The score for the movie actually sounds a lot like A Quiet Place, a very much kind of Last of Us-esque, a very simple, somber music throughout, very simple instruments, just tonally. Pig and A Quiet Place, it's a weird correlation, but they fit together, and I just, oh gosh, this movie just went from not that hyped to, oh my god, I need this in my heart right now. This is why
does that sound like a Little House on the Prairie knockoff? A Pig in A Quiet Place, like come on. Oh dude, I just need this. I need this. Yeah, absolutely. Granted, I kind of still need to see the second one too. But,
yeah, it's in the voodoo.
Yeah.
So, as per usual, this episode is sponsored by TeePublic, your one-stop shop for all Uncharted Media merch. We now have 5 designs for you to pick from. You can get a t-shirt, a notebook, sticker, whatever your heart desires to rep your Uncharted Media merch and rep your Uncharted Media needs. Your favorite podcast, you know it, we know it. Support the show with TeePublic. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us on YouTube or wherever you're getting your podcast from. We're trying to reach 700 subscribers by the end of the year, and you can help us get there by subscribing to us on YouTube. Without further ado, let's get it in to our top 10 most anticipated movies of 2022. And like I said at the beginning of the show, this was incredibly difficult because everything got delayed till 2022, basically. 2021 was the year I feel like movie theaters kind of stepped their toes back into the water very, very gently. We got some stuff. Here's my analogy I'm going with. Every movie kind of tiptoed their toes into the water, seeing how it would do. And then No Way Home just did a freaking cannonball. Was like,
yeah,
my turn, I make big splash now. And everyone's just going, well, crap. Maybe we should have gotten a multiverse of our own. Now everyone's going to start trying to figure out crossovers. But everything got delayed till 2022. I think Jurassic Park was the smart one here. They were the first ones to delay till 2022. And I remember everyone going, wow, that's so far out. And now we're going, they're probably smart. They must have known something we didn't. So I initially had 20 movies on my top 10. Obviously, that's mathematically impossible. So I had to trim down my list. So I have my top 10 with 3 honorable mentions. So I was able to trim down my honorable mentions as well. So I'm going to get those out of the way now. My 3 honorable mentions are Scott Derrickson's The Black Phone. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
Creed 3. I'm very excited to see Jonathan Majors just beat the crap out of Michael B. Jordan. I think it'll be great. And here's probably where I'm going to lose Josh. My last honorable mention, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Really, as an honorable
As an
mention?
honorable mention, just because this year is this loaded that looking at the other ones on
That's
on my
fair.
top 10, I'm going, as much as I'm excited, I don't think it's going to be higher than this movie or this movie. It's there's so many that I feel like I can't get this on here, so it's just it can't be.
That's fair. I feel that. I've got the black phone as well. Uh, Thor: Love and Thunder is
It's
still
not on
interesting
any
to
of them.
me,
That's not on my honorable mentions or my top 10 just because I can't fit
and
it.
that's fine. I understand that. I mean, we haven't really had a poster or a trailer yet, so I'm kind of like it's hard for me to get too hyped about
Mm-hmm.
it. Same thing with kind of like Knives Out 2. Like I'm gonna be hyped about it no matter what, but I still need a trailer or something like that. Like Creed is definitely out up there. Uh, Lightyear is on there only because I'm really, really hopeful. And I think I'm being unnecessarily hopeful with that, unfortunately. I just I guess we'll find out. I don't know.
Yeah. So, um, I'll start us off with my
Go
number
for it.
10. That it's just crazy to me that this is my number 10. Again, this year is just this loaded. It's weird to me that this is my
Mm-hmm.
number 10 because for a very long time, the first one of these was my favorite DCEU movie. My number 10, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I loved the first Aquaman so much. I think Jason Momoa was perfect casting. It is the type of comic book movie that I've wanted of bright, vibrant. It acknowledges its cheesiness. It feels and just it's a comic book panel brought to life of I see a fully grown man riding a seahorse into battle and it's badass and I love it so much. Like I still grin like an idiot when he comes through the waterfall for the first time in the gold and green suit just going,
Yes.
we have peaked as a civilization here. You have done it.
Or
You
even
have
like,
done the
oh,
impossible. You've created the most difficult suit of all time in a movie, and it looks
but
amazing.
like there's that and like the Black Manta
An
suit
Orm
in this
suit, the
movie.
costumes, and just
Like there's so much good stuff in that, and so it's totally reasonable for that to be on your number 10. Like I don't blame you that at all, just because like it really is seeing some of like the other stuff that's on this list. It's like, yeah, like wow, this is gonna go hard. This year is gonna go hard in the paint.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's your number 10?
The Flash. I am it's up there. It I kind of reserved number 10, my 10 slot, for like I'm hyped for it, but like depending on some things, I might be able to skip the theatrical release. We'll see. You know what I mean?
For
So the Flash is so good. It's
oh
like
yeah,
it's gonna be hype, bro. It's There's gonna be so much that can happen.
both good
I
or bad. It could
just
either go either
Yeah,
way.
that's the other thing is like I don't know what direction we're gonna go here, but hopefully it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
lying if I said those rumors that came out not too long ago didn't kind of dampen it a little bit. But then again, I'm still going, those are not necessarily proven rumors. We could just wait and see how the movie
Mm,
progresses. Because at the same time, a lot of the rumors about No Way Home ended up being true. And on paper, I hated them. But how they're executed in the movie actually really worked. So there's a big difference between explaining something and actually seeing it. So that could be
yeah,
the case
you're not
with the
wrong.
Flash. So I'm not sure. It's on my list. We'll get to it later. What's
Yeah.
your number 9?
And this was a movie I sent you the trailer because I thought it was super interesting. But I don't think you'll find interesting at all. Everything All at Once is a movie kind of done in the same vein as Parasite. Is it Parasite? Yeah, where it's just like it's all primarily Asian cast. It, but like this is dealing with like extra dimensional stuff. This has like a vibe like Jet Li's The One, but like less cheesy '90s sci-fi action and just more of this lady who owns a laundromat who's gonna kick some butt and it's just I'm so here for it. It just I don't know what it was about the trailer, but I'm always here for interdimensional brain trips.
And Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, and she kind of looks like She
Yes.
kind of looks like Edna
Oh,
Mode from The Incredibles. She's got the bowl
it's
cut with
so
the
great.
glasses. I'm like,
Dude, I will see it for her character alone. She's it looks so
she'll
fun.
show up somewhere later on my list.
I'm sure she will.
Just like how everything all at once, all together now, isn't on my list. My number 9 is going to be nowhere near Josh's list. I know this for a fact. Mission Impossible 7.
Yeah, no.
Because Josh has no taste and hates these movies for some reason.
Wow, I don't need to be
I
attacked like
genuinely
that.
do not get how you don't like them. Like, maybe some of the earlier
fun.
ones, like 2, where they just,
Okay.
charge at each other with motorcycles. But from 4 on, they genuinely just keep getting better and better. And actually having a core cast of crew, unlike, just changing it out every movie, I think that works better for me. I like having the same cast every single time. But the stories have gotten so much better. It's not just, all right, we got one cool stunt. How do we make a movie out of that one cool stunt? Like, they still have the big stunts, but there's good stories around it. Ghost Protocol is one of my favorite action movies, period. And that Burj Khalifa scene when he's climbing up is still fantastic. I loved Fallout,
It's
even if the
cool.
trailers
Yeah.
gave away that Henry Cavill was the bad guy. And they're like, are you surprised? We're going, no, you moron. You showed him shooting a machine gun in the trailer. Like, come on now. Also, has anybody else just watched that gif on a loop of Henry Cavill cocking his arms in that bathroom fight just on a loop?
bro,
You're going, come on now. Come on now.
outta here.
That's awesome.
Okay. I will give you the credit that the past 2 had like
Past
Ghost Protocol
3.
and Fallout.
Rogue Nation, I'll give you a pass, but 4, 5, and 6 have all been great.
They're good. They're good entertainment. I'm just not that into spy movies at the end of the day. And even that, they're barely spy movies.
Yeah, that's what. And look, they're not spy movies, so why do you hate them?
I just hate Tom Cruise and his stupid Scientology stuff.
Yeah, I don't like Tom Cruise either, but I respect that he's learned to improve the movies. I still haven't forgiven him for The Mummy, but that's another issue entirely. Moving on from one that I think is on Josh's list, my number 8. A few months ago, it would not have been on my top 10 or even in my honorable mentions. But holy crap, that teaser trailer for Black Adam got me so hyped.
All right.
Because for a while there, I was
right.
just like, the Black Adam movie will never come to fruition. Even then when they wrap filming, I'm just like, this movie will never come out because it's been in development hell for years. Then they added Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, Aldous Hodge as Hawkman, Noah Centineo as Atom Smasher. I'm going, wait, you're building an actual cast of Justice Society members? I was like, okay, I'm at least interested. And then we get some leaked set pictures of like what some of the locations will look like. I'm going, oh, okay. Then they showed the trailer, DC Fandom, of, we've heard The Rock say the hierarchy of the DC universe is about to change. Okay, sure, whatever. Oh my god, he just crushed that man's skull. Shazam, run. You gonna get bodied, fool. Like, okay, I immediately believe that is the baddest dude in the DC universe on the spot, and I am terrified and a little aroused at the same time. I'm terrified right now of The Rock. And this movie, combined with Justice Society, which I think are very underappreciated DC characters, probably getting spun off into their own movie while we figure out what we're doing with the Justice League proper. I think the Black Adam movie is going to be great, even if it took us a very, very long time to get there.
That's fair. I'm with you. It's odd because both of our number 8s are superhero movies that are on the darker side of things. I personally was not that big of a fan of the first trailer of this movie, but the second trailer for Morbius, like, I got a
really?
little, like, I got kind of hyped on it. I don't know what it is. Like, even, like, hit that line towards the end, he was like, I'm just kidding. John Michael Morbius. That's your second. I was like, I have to see this. It looks so cool. The transformation that Jared Leto's going to go through is going to be so cool. Even some of the visuals that they kind of tease in the trailer about how this sonar is going to work was just like, it's going to be hard for me to not be hyped about this movie. I think that might change. I'll say this: that might change when like a proper Black Adam trailer comes out, because God, like just Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate is just gonna absolutely hit a lot of bells. We'll see what happens, but definitely Morbius is up there in my top 10 for movies I want to see this year.
I'm wondering if,
especially sorry, I just hit this. Especially for the potential implications of Spider-Man.
I was just about to say, were you excited for Morbius a month ago before there was a possibility of a certain other spider showing up? A certain Spider-Man that hates the Mondays because, he's a Garfield.
Hate you. Hate you for that joke. Hate you for that joke.
Josh, what is your number 7?
Number 7 is going to be way lower on my list than it is on Nathan's. Uncharted.
I'm fine with that. I didn't know if it would be on your list at all.
I'm hyped about it, especially having played through I think 2 of the games. I'm down. Yeah, absolutely. I love a good treasure hunt. I love a good a good treasure hunting movie. I'm here for Mark Wahlberg. I'm here for jeez, I almost called him Nathan Drake. Tom Holland.
See, the subliminalness is already sinking in, man. Sinking in.
I'm here for it. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely nowhere near the most hype that I'm gonna have all year, but because I think it's gonna be saying that it's my number 7. I think it might be the highest that it gets. I'm
I'm amazed that it's even on your top 10. I'm totally fine with that because a lot of people's hype list is nowhere even close to it because I think way too many people are sleeping on this. Also, I've been going through and I'm playing all the games to get ready for this. I still love the first one. Mm-hmm. But God, the mechanics are janky as hell in the first one. The hit detection,
it's so bad.
The hit detection is so bad. It's not even so much the hit detection, that's part of it, but the other part is, all right, press circle in a direction to go for cover. I did that, and he just kind of stands there. He doesn't snap to a cover spot, so he
nope.
He rolls, then gets shotgunned in the face because he didn't get to cover. I'm like, I pressed the frickin' and then this. It does get better. I'm in the second one right now. I'm going, okay, you go to cover this time around. There's a snap to cover here, as opposed to, oh, I'm just gonna get blasted. Also, it still confuses the crap out of me how in Uncharted, a pistol does more damage than an AK-47.
Dude, oh my gosh!
I'll shoot somebody 25 times with an AK as opposed to 6 shots with a pistol. Also, how the heck does a pistol have more range than an AK? But whatever. Also, good luck trying to kill somebody.
Did you ever try to snipe with your pistol?
Actually, I use the pistol to snipe. If I try in long distance, I will use the pistol over the AK.
I don't understand how that's better. It doesn't make sense how that's better. But it does, and it's and the shotguns are trash.
Shotguns are so bad. The shotguns have a distance of 2 feet.
Hate it. Okay, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is The Flash. I've been excited for this one for a while, even though I know this has had, of all the movies, just as much, if not more, production issues than Black Adam. And it hasn't really gone away in recent weeks with some of the reports that have gone out for the movie. I've always really liked The Flash as a character and have waited for him to get the spotlight. I'm still kind of disappointed that I get the sense that he won't get the spotlight, even in his own first movie here, and he's going to have to share it with a whole bunch of other people. But I really like that first tease that we got at DC Fandom, because they seem to be leaning in a lot to comic book lore, and that just makes me happy. Of seeing the Flash ring, just made me happy. The gold boots, the finally improved suit, because good God, I hate that Snyder Flash suit so much. It is one of my least favorite suits of all time. I'm still on the fence about Ezra Miller's casting. I'm looking forward to this movie, though, quite a bit for the potential that it could have. I like the story of Flashpoint. I think it'd be interesting to see how they implement that in the movie. Also, like another movie that I've got talk about later here, I think this will be cameos galore, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I wouldn't be surprised if The Flash is where we start getting our first hints of Dick Grayson more than anything else. I think there's a lot of interesting possibilities here with The Flash. Could be a lot of fun, especially seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League, I like the powers that they hinted at with the Flash, even if it just kind of came out of nowhere that he can go back in time. It felt kind of Deus Ex Machina here, but I'm looking forward to the Flash. He is one of my favorite characters, not like top 5, but he's definitely up there, and I think the Flash as a character has been long overdue for a movie, so I'm looking forward to it despite some of the things we're hearing about it.
Yeah, and I can't blame you on that. I'm still calling. I think I said this in our predictions video. I'm still calling that Impulse shows up, but that's just.
I'm still saying Henry Cavill.
Yeah, dude, the opportunities are limited.
Nicolas Cage Superman.
I think there's going to be a lot of things that we never thought we'd see in a DC film. Speaking of things that I never thought we'd see, how about Knuckles in Sonic 2? Baby, I'm super hyped on my number 6 spot for Sonic 2, baby. Let's go.
I'm a little surprised, but I guess I shouldn't be. I really shouldn't be.
Dude.
I think Josh liked the first one a lot more than I did. I didn't mind the first one. It really was not that bad. It was better than it had any right to be, but
yep.
The second one does look good. The second one looks like a massive improvement over an already pretty decent franchise.
You can't tell me that you weren't like, oh, here we go. When you hear off screen, like, I don't need your power, and they pan over and it's Knuckles. Like, bro,
that wasn't off
on.
Screen. That was in the shot.
I don't look.
It's a close up. How many times have you watched the trailer?
You can correct me. You can correct me all you want, but it doesn't negate the fact that it was so a cool moment.
I just need Knuckles to say, "Do you know Dewey?" at some point in the movie.
I need that to happen, and I need Shadow to be hinted at by the end of the film, because I think if I can just see it in my head of Eggman being like, well, that didn't work out. I thought I could pit Knuckles against them. Well, if I can't make a friend, if I can't like coerce somebody into fighting Sonic, maybe I can just build something to go against Sonic, and that's how he does that. But who knows?
Don't get me wrong. It's not on my list primarily just because, again, this year is packed. But I think Sonic can be a lot of fun. And I like the first one, but I think the second one will be even better. Just like my number 6. I love the first one, but I think the second one could be even better for Across the Spider-Verse Part 1.
Interesting. Okay.
Again,
okay.
There's so many options for what could be my most anticipated. There's just so many things coming out this year that this had to be slotted somewhere. So it's at number 6. I loved Into the Spider-Verse so much. And I didn't think I would, because none of the trailers really wowed me. The animation at first from all the trailers was very off-putting, but you get used to it really quick. I'm really excited to see what kind of madness we get going even further down the rabbit hole. I just think the first one was such a surprise success that now that they've had success, I think other people are willing to get involved. Like, once you know it's not a risk, you're willing to jump in on something. So I would not be surprised if we get Maguire, Garfield, Holland, still sticking with a 90s animated series, Spider-Man shows up. I just think there's a lot of interesting storytelling possibilities. You can bring in, like, Spider-Woman, Spider-Man 2099, we know will be in it. I think that's awesome. There's just so many cool possibilities. And I'm still sticking with my prediction that I said last week. I bet this movie ends in live action form. I think that would be a really fun ending. Or bring in live action in some capacity. If he's really going to all these different styles, at one point, I don't want to say go full Family Guy with it, but make it live action at one point. I think that'd be really, really fun. I just love the first one so much, and I want to spend more time in it, even if it felt like so long ago that the first one came out.
Yeah, and that's why, for me, it's a little higher on the list. But again, like you said, at this point, I don't know if the numbering on any of these is necessarily fair, because I think a lot of these movies,
for the top 2, it does.
Yeah, I'm just generally very hyped for. I'll go ahead and get into my number 5 then. Is going to, unfortunately, I think, it would be higher if the ending of its most recent installment had been better. Number 5 is going to be Halloween Ends. While I'm excited for it, I definitely... Halloween Kills was not as good as I think it needed to be. It was not a bad movie. I don't think I've seen a lot of people be like, "Oh, it's the worst Halloween out of all of them."
Did you
like,
watch the rest of the Halloween movies?
Yeah, how many have you seen? Like, I understand. There's the moment when he kicks that door and then goes into the arm of that girl and she shoots herself in the head. I understand that that's like kind of wacky, and there's some like nonsensical stuff that happens in this film.
Y'all not watch Halloween 6 or the Rob Zombie ones or Halloween Resurrection?
But I think it doesn't get across the message as clear as it's supposed to, that it's trying to tell, which is fine. But I'm excited at the very least to see how this ends. Now with Laurie's daughter's dead, like, holy cow, how is that going to affect Laurie and her granddaughter? Like, this is going to go ham, and I'm just excited to see how this specific trilogy ends. And I hope that they legitimately kill Michael. Like, he is dead, and they don't leave it open for like, but maybe he goes after the granddaughter. Like, nah, screw you.
Yeah.
We don't need that anymore. End it.
Yeah. So I have Halloween Ends, but it's not very, very far away at all. But my number 5, Knives Out 2. It would be even higher on my list, but it does kind of take some of the shine off of it being on Netflix. Like, I know it shouldn't, because it's still a movie and it's still basically the same people involved from a behind the camera standpoint, but I don't know, something about it not being in theaters and being a Netflix movie kind of takes away some of the specialness for me. But that first Knives Out was hands down my favorite movie of 2019. That was such a pleasant surprise. I loved it so much, and it's just already become one of my most rewatchable movies. It's already slotted in. Everyone has that like family movie rotation, at least mine does, of like 5 or 6 movies that when in doubt you'll just put that movie on. So like for my family, Mission Impossible 4, Independence Day, Armageddon, Prince of Persia, like just movies you could just put on in the background that we've seen a million times that we just love watching. First Knives Out is already one of those movies, so I'm excited for Knives Out 2. I like the cast. Dave Bautista, I think, will be a very interesting addition to this cast. I think the cast as a whole is really, really well done. So I'm looking forward to what we're going to see next. So then I'll just piggyback. Number 4 is, for me, Halloween Ends. Wasn't too far off. I will always be hyped for a Halloween movie. I agree with you that Halloween Kills wasn't as strong as it needed to be, but it was not nearly as bad as a lot of people have made it out to be. I think it's a mid-level Halloween movie. There are some truly amazing things in Halloween Kills. There's some truly baffling things in Halloween Kills. Like, it just came out in 4K today. I would need to run out and get it at some point because I just need to rewatch the first 20 minutes on a loop every single day until Halloween comes because, absolutely. God, that you've done the impossible. So that kind of carries enough good favor for me. It would be higher on my list, one, if there wasn't movies that I was more excited for that hold more emotional attachment to me, but 2, if there wasn't some factors that I'm very confused about for Halloween Ends. They said when it comes out later this year in 2022 that's when it takes place in Halloween Ends. So they're actually going to use that 4-year time gap between Halloween 2018 to 2022, and they're going to say, we're going to incorporate real world events into this. I'm going, how are you just going to have Laurie sit on the sidelines for 4 years? Like, I know she's got to heal up, but for 4 years, like it makes it a little dicey for me.
But even with that, like having Michael sit on the sidelines for 4 years, what he could, after finally getting back to his home, he's just gonna disappear.
Someone did bring up an interesting theory, and I think I talked to you about this, of what if his home was never what he was looking for? What if he was looking for his parents? Because he's still got the brain of a child, and that's why he went home. And now that he finds that they're not there, he just kind of wanders for a while, which I don't know if I like, because that seems too much Rob Zombie Halloween, where he just kind of wanders aimlessly like Daniel Bryan or a Wyatt family member for years.
Yeah,
there's just a lot of this that I want to be excited for, but I'm also confused about at the same time. They're like, it's the final showdown between Laurie and Michael. I'm going, well, wasn't 2018's the final showdown between Laurie and Michael. Like, I think the biggest issue that Halloween Kills had was it was very blatantly the middle part of a trilogy. Like, they knew what the beginning and the end will be. They just needed to kind of drag out the middle part. Kind of like Far From Home, basically. We know what the ending is. We just kind of have to stretch out the middle a little bit. So I will always be excited for a Halloween movie by far. I just need proper closure for Laurie this time. I'm pretty confident she's going to die. I just want her to be killed off properly and respectfully this time. Go out like the badass that we know she is and not like, I got stabbed in the back and fell in some bushes.
Yeah, that wouldn't be
Or
fun.
Die off screen in a car accident.
Well, and I think, that hurt. That hurt too. Like, really? That's how? Okay. And as far as that theory goes, like, we're also going to change it again? Because in Halloween Kills, they're like, oh, yeah, Laurie, he's never been after you. He just wanted to go home. Okay. So then you're going to switch it up again in the next movie? That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So my number 4, and I wasn't far behind yours, is Spider-Man Across the Universe.
Across the Spider-Verse Part 1?
Yeah. Yeah, let's go. I think you said everything that needs to be said. Like, there's so much potential for this movie. I loved the first one. I still watch it. It's definitely in like my top 10 rotation of movies.
Oh yeah, same.
Pop in every now and then. It's just such a great movie, and the potential for the second one is going to be so big. It would be interesting to see if they reference some other like Spider-Man-like projects. I remember reading a comic book that was like done in like a manga style. It's like called like what is it? Arcadia? Some girl who like it's like almost Blue Beetle but with spider powers.
Ooh.
It was cool, but anyway, yeah. So it'd be interesting to see like what they do and how far they take this. And again, I'm with you. I'm on board if they go live action on this. I don't know how that would play out. I don't know how I feel about part 2 being all like live action, but I think it would be very interesting for them to just randomly pop into live action and then pop out, almost like because like Amazing World of Gumball does that sometimes, as far as like a bunch of different styles of art. Mm-hmm. Like in the final season, everybody's got different like art levels or whatever, and like the main villain is an actual human being, just like live action human being walking around in this cartoon world. It's very interesting, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited for it though. Here we go.
Top 3. At least one of these I think has to be the same one. Maybe 2 of them.
Yo, yeah, at least one.
What's your number 3?
I think
number 3 might be the same.
One of them's not going to surprise you. My number 3 is not going to be the same because it's in your honorable mentions. I am so hyped about The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Wow. That's a surprise contender there.
I cannot tell you how excited I am to see everybody witness the greatness that is Nick Cage, Nick Cage, in the way that I've always seen him. You know what I mean? And a part of me, I think, I really, just knowing how Cage is, I feel while this will be an adventure, it will also be a weird form of like a movie documentary for his actual life in a way. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring up stuff about the hard times that he came across, and about the stuff about him having to sell his entire comic book collection. Just like stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that kind of stuff comes up, and it would just be super interesting to see. And I love Nicolas Cage, and the fact that they're like legitimately putting him in like, I don't know how to say this, like a mainstream comedy movie. I just like, let's go,
with
dude.
The Mandalorian?
Absolutely.
Come on now.
Yeah, like what?
All right.
What's your number 3, my
Something completely different that still could have Nicolas Cage in it at some point. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely convinced that Nicolas Cage's Ghost Rider won't show up at some point in this movie. But I'm excited for this movie on the sheer premise of the could be aspect of this. Of we didn't actually know how all in they would go with No Way Home in terms of the multiverse. Because so many people are just like, Tobey and Andrew will probably be in it, but they'll just be in the end. I don't know about you, but Tobey and Andrew were in No Way Home a lot more than I thought they would be. I know some people are just like, they're only in the final fight. No, they're in it basically the last 40% of the movie. Like, they're there for his character. They're willing to embrace all the greater aspects of the multiverse. If you have a movie called In the Multiverse of Madness, you better deliver on the multiverse aspect. We've heard some crazy things about what they might be doing in this, and I'm going, if half of what you've told me is true, then this movie's going to be insane, and I cannot wait to see it. I think the first Doctor Strange is fine, but I think Doctor Strange as a character has only gotten better in the MCU. Yeah. His first one, I think, is just okay, but I liked him in Infinity War. He's an integral part of Endgame. I liked him in No Way Home. He's getting better and better as a character that I can really get behind, and I think In the Multiverse of Madness has a lot of interesting potential. It all depends for me of how it will execute that potential.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think that's why I'm still a little iffy on it. I'm not 100%. I think it is one of the few movies on this list that I'm like, when I go see it, I have to see it in IMAX. Just from the trailer alone, it feels like this is gonna be visually a spectacle, and I want to be able to experience that, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
My number 2, and I think when I say it is not going to be surprising to you, for this year, and I'm hoping I don't get green-knighted, is The Northman.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Exactly. Of course it is. Like,
there's only like 2 options that it could have been.
Like, you can't. So the guy that did the Vivitch is doing a Viking movie. Yeah, and it's actually looks really, really good, and doesn't look like they're gonna go the TV show on it, and they're not gonna go Green Knight on it. Yeah, okay, well, dude, I'm in, man. Let's go. Like, the trailer got me hooked. I unfortunately am not secretive about my love of Viking lore and the Nordic people, but God, dude, this movie just looks so good, and I'm so excited for it.
I think it's funny that both of our number 2s are like so specifically niche to the two of us. Yes. Josh's is the Northman because Josh is secretly a Viking at heart. Mine will surprise some people, but not surprise some other people, because I think a lot of people are expecting this to be my number 1, but it's not. Uncharted.
Yeah.
That one is just, y'all know how much I've championed this movie, how much I've waited for this movie. Hell, you're listening to the Uncharted Media Podcast. This franchise means a lot to me, and I want this to be good. And so far from the marketing, at least to me, they haven't really missed a step. I like everything that they've shown so far. I'm really looking forward to this. Uncharted really holds a special place in my heart. Josh is secretly a Viking warlord. I am secretly a treasure hunting exploration expert. I think what it is I've always loved adventure and treasure hunt stories. Like, I grew up reading Treasure Island and loving Treasure Planet, as we've talked about numerous times on the podcast. I think it's that concept of absurdly random, obscure knowledge is beneficial to you. Because if you haven't noticed, I'm the king of obscure random trivia that will never benefit anyone. But I've always liked that treasure hunting aspect, so I really latched onto Uncharted quickly. And this movie just seems like good fun. I don't need this to be a perfect movie at all. I just need it to be swashbuckling adventure. And I think Ruben Fleischer, who did both Zombieland movies, is the right guy to do it. I think also it's going to have a lot of heart because the Zombieland movies have a surprising amount of heart that I think we kind of sleep on how good those Zombieland movies are. I love
Mm-hmm.
both of them quite a bit. I think I actually like the second one even more. But yeah, I could not be more hyped for Uncharted. As soon as tickets go on sale, I'm calling off work that day. I'm taking a vacation day and making sure I'm seeing it the first available showing. My only question is, what theater am I going to see it? Because I'm going full Nathan Drake costume with it. And I'm wondering what theater's going to let me in with the gun holsters. I'm going to be like, I don't have anything in here. I just have a whole, I need in, man. Just let me in. This is for me, man.
Nerd.
I can do without the holsters. That's fine. I got a belt buckle. I need to figure out how to, attach it properly. But I got the belt buckle. I got I'm ready to go for this movie. But it's not my number one. It's close, but Uncharted holds a special place in my heart. But come on now, Josh and I have the same number one.
Yeah, you want to count it down and say it at the same time?
3, 2, 1. The Batman.
Avatar 2. Oh. No.
I need a new co-host. Get out.
I'm kidding. Yeah, Batman. Let's go, baby.
We were pro Battinson since the casting hit. We're going, that's great casting. Genuinely, I've talked about how much I enjoy the Uncharted marketing campaign so far. The Batman's, I think, is one of the best marketing campaigns I've ever seen. Honestly, nothing has missed for me so far with the Batman. Every trailer has looked outstanding. The cinematography looks outstanding. Michael Giacchino's Batman score of doom, 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 doom. You're going, oh, that's going to be a classic immediately. I love seeing all the memes of people going, Michael Giacchino's going from Spider-Man No Way Home to the Batman? Oh, bro's on fire. They have not missed at the marketing. It looks outstanding, and also appreciate that I think they're hiding a ton of this movie that they're not showing in trailers, which gets me even more excited. This Batman movie looks like it's poised to be something incredibly special, and I cannot wait.
Oh, absolutely. I think, between the first trailer, was the only thing we had for a long, long time. Not to say that the first trailer's bad at all. It's really stinking good. And most of the marketing leading up to this point too has been really good. And I was like, I don't think I need to see anything else. And then they dropped that second trailer, which is a whole batch of different footage, but gives nothing away either. I was just like, this just can't get any better. And that trailer was really, really, really good. I'm just so ready for this film. And I guess it would be easy for people to look at you and me and be like, oh, they're just Batman stans.
Yes, what's wrong with that?
They just simp hard for Batman. But here's the thing, man.
We simp for Pattinson too.
Dude, I'm a huge simp for Pattinson. Are you kidding me? But at the same time,
he's a good time.
I don't know how you can see the marketing for this film and not be excited. Even if you're just even if you're new to the Batman kind of lore, which first of all, I'm pretty impressed if you are. Maybe you're just a little child. But if you're a child, I don't know if you
don't watch this movie if you're a child.
Yeah. But even if you have very little knowledge about Batman, at the same time, this feels very it feels fresh. It feels different than what we've had before. But at the same time, it feels like coming back to something that we've always known. I'm just so stoked for it. I'm excited for seeing whatever that performance that Colin Farrell's doing of Penguin. Holy crap! Still can't believe that's him.
Yeah.
Catwoman's going to be amazing. Riddler's going to be awesome. Andy Serkis as Alfred might end up being one of my favorites. Who knows?
Honestly, we've never had bad Alfred casting.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much to like about this movie. The cast is absolutely banger. The score, like you said, the music is going to be absolutely smacking. And the action, especially from that second trailer, looks like it's going to be hard hitting. And I'm just here for it, dude. I just can't imagine not being excited for this movie, let alone it not being at least in someone's top 5 for this year.
Like we said, we were on board the Pattinson casting from day one. But the moment that I was just like, I don't just like how this movie's shaping up. I love what I'm seeing. Is that first trailer? What the hell are you supposed to be? Beats the ever-living crap out of that thug. And you going, here's what he's going to say. I'm Batman. I'm vengeance. My hand was shaking that first time I saw that trailer. I'm going,
I know. I was there.
No, you weren't.
Well, I wasn't there.
You were there for the second one. The first one was just me and Heather.
Yeah.
And then they immediately... I credit the editor because editors don't get enough love, people. Thank your editors. But whoever edited that trailer, he does the vengeance. Then hard cut to the Batmobile firing up. You're going, atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed, because that looks like the 66 Batmobile's flames. Like, I cannot be more excited for the Batman. The only way I could get more excited for the Batman would be if they show one final trailer and it closes on a shot of a circus tent. Then it'll be that gif of South Park with Cartman's dad at the computer. That'll be me. I'm not gonna, if you know, you know.
I don't think that's Cartman's dad, because Cartman doesn't have a dad.
No, whose dad is it that has the excitement at the keyboard?
I know who you're talking about. Dude, it's just, I don't see how you can't be excited for this movie. I think I'm really excited for whatever Batman universe Matt Reeves is bringing us to, because, God, it just looks so like it's ripped from the comic. Baby, give me that Iceberg Lounge. Come on. I'm just so
speaking of Iceberg, I just want Mr. Freeze to be in the sequel and done properly. Like,
yes.
Oof. Like, Bryan Cranston as Victor Freeze. Like,
and like, he can, like, I have faith in Matt Reeves that he would make Mr. Freeze incredibly heartbreaking as the villain, which is what he needs to be. Like, Anyway, God, man, what a year for movies. Like, I guess you and I both were like, holy crap, they really did just push everything into 2022, and here we are. I mean, and there's still so much that we're not sure about.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. We have no real information on Nope, that the new horror film from Jordan
Peele. Yep.
Jordan Peele. We've got no information, really, no trailer or anything on Avatar 2 or the Mario movie or Knives Out 2 or, like, dude, there's just so much that this year, and like, this is just like 20 movies that I went through down like 3 or 4 lists and was like, yep, that one. Like, there's still so many more movies that are coming out this year. I'm super excited. I think we can finally get back to kind of a quote unquote normal in some when it comes to movie viewing, and I'm excited that people are still going to the movies. I want to take this moment to say, I remember when COVID was at its height and everything was closed, people were saying, well, streaming is the future. You can't really make any real money from movies going to theaters anymore. Like, and the movie going experience is not going to be a thing anymore. It is solidified, I think, by No Way Home. That proves everything wrong. Movie theaters are here to stay, at least for the next 10 years, I think, at least.
Oh, yeah.
The bare minimum.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just excited that you and I are not the only ones that have such a fond disposition when it comes to movie theaters and seeing movies in theaters.
Yes. Well, what do you guys think? What are your most anticipated movies of 2022? What are the movies that you just cannot wait to see what they're going to look like? Let us know in the comments below. It's like hearing from you guys. And as always, if you like what you see and want to see more, subscribe to the Uncharted Media YouTube channel. Help us to get to 700 subscribers because you guys are the best. Share us with your fellow movie fans who you think might enjoy the videos that we make or the podcast that we have. And if you haven't already subscribed us on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're getting your podcasts from. And as always, stay sharp, movie guys and gals.